We have brought several best practices back to our companies, both Albemarle, then Amoco, and BP. The other one that comes to mind was a portfolio management ROR, which was done in 2001, 2002, I think into 2003. And we used the findings for that to benchmark how we were doing portfolio management within the chemicals part of BP.
Hi, Eric Whalen Peterson. I work for Kraft Foods. I participate in ROR. It actually is how I got started with the IRI. My first meeting with the IRI was a winter meeting where ROR is the theme. And I got in and I went around and learned a lot in the individual sessions. And I found myself a couple of years later standing at a table discussing an idea with someone from another company. And we couldn't walk away from the idea. We made a pact that we would become co-chairs, providing that the other one would. We stuck through with that. We finished our research. It was one of the most interesting and rewarding things for me. It got me an opportunity to work on something that is of inherent interest to me, but it's a vexing problem. It was called the Lab of the Future. How do you do this? If you're in R&D and you want to your boss asks you all the time, you want to do something, and what's the future going to hold? It's one of those questions that just keeps you up at night. Well, this one turned into sort of a really good one. It evolved into a successful publication, and we were very happy about it. So being able to access this, participate, and help the outcome of this, along with the ability to access it first before anybody else does. That's why I participate in ROR.
One of the best things that Green Tweed has received from IRI is working with the ROR, Research on Research groups, because it gives us a chance for many people in our organization to really work with other companies that are trying to do the same thing we're doing, that is taking ideas to commercial dollars and learning from their past mistakes and their past learnings and offering our best practices also so that we can all get better as a group.
The reason I like ROR is that you're always surprised by something. There's always some sort of learning you're taking away from it, and you really get time to peel back the onion and look at a subject very deeply, and you're working with peers that are as equally bright and bring new things to the table. It's a wonderful way of establishing long-term relationships because you really feel like you're in the troops and clogging through the field and working together. So it's one of the things that I think makes IRI really special, because after you've been through a couple RORs, they're your friends for life, regardless of what organization they're in, whatever, because you worked on something pretty deeply together.
Another area where we really have learned a lot is on the research on research efforts, where we can take an opportunity to deep dive into certain areas to learn more.
All of NASA's 10 centers across the agency are now members of the Industrial Research Institute. And we belong because it's the only place that we know where people in industry actually do research on how to conduct research.
One of the first problems I solved at work was trying to figure out how to measure the effectiveness of R&D, and I got involved with an ROR project on just that topic. Now, it took a little longer to get to the end, but by the end of it, I had great ideas about how to measure the effectiveness of R&D.